Bang.
Tarps Off Sports.
What's going on, MMA fans? Bellator 255 came back tonight with their first show on Showtime. Patricio Pitbull with a vicious first round submission of Emmanuel Sanchez. I mean, Pitbull took no prisoners in that fight and proved why Tapology ranking him number 21 on the list of best featherweights in the world is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I usually have a bit of respect for that website too. It's a great site to grab data. Ranking system though, absolute trash ass. Not sure who came up with that, but it's pretty embarrassing.
They have him ranked behind Ryan Hall. Like, what kind of a joke is that?
It's a sick joke. We'll get more into that as we make our way through the card, but I want to start with the last prelim before the main event. Magomedov dominates in his fight. You know, he's from Dagestan. He actually, you know, he's not like a Khabib family member or anything, but they did say in the post-fight press conference he did work with him a little bit. And when Khabib Nurmagomedov is in the building, man, most of the questions are about Khabib. I mean, they asked Pitbull about that as well, and we'll get into it. But Magomedov comes in with a huge performance, Jack. He wants a top 5 fighter. Do you think he'll get it that fast, or do you think he's got one more to go?
No, he'll get that fast. Honestly, I think he maybe 1 or 2 fights away from the title. I mean, he tore up the PFL before coming into Bellator. Yep. The guy is just a machine. I thought 5 was a little too low of a ranking for him initially. I thought he should have been higher right off the bat. And this guy's going to prove that. I mean, he's a future champion. I don't think anybody in Bellator can beat him. I know that's big talk, but that kid is that good. He has the potential to be even better than Khabib. Stamp it now. Timestamp that.
Love it. So let's get into the first fight of the main card. We had Kana Watanabe defeat Alejandra Lara via split decision, 28-29, 29-28, and 29-28. That was a great fight. Jack, we're going to get into a little debate about the judges because we disagree on that Jackson fight, but I think the judges got that one correctly 2 out of 3.
Two out of 3.
I think Watanabe won that fight. I had it going to her, but I did know that first round damage that Alejandra was able to do would be significant enough to make it a tight card, and certainly split decision is as tight as it gets. But Watanabe, you know, she was the 5th ranked fighter in the division. Lara's 4. She's just making her way up the ranks there, and will probably be looking for a title shot herself.
Yeah, I think both fighters impressed. I think Lara impressed even in a loss. I mean, it was 4 versus 5. They both proved why they're there.
Oh, absolutely. Lara looked great at times in that fight.
Absolutely. And Watanabe, I mean, she has no losses on her record. Can she challenge for the title? I don't know. I think she still needs to, you know, get some kinks out of her game. That stand-up needs to improve to really go for the title. And Lara, she is going to improve. She's going to be a title challenger eventually. It's not yet, but you either win or you learn, and I think she learns from this.
Yeah, man, absolutely facts. Now, there was a debut from another Nurmagomedov tonight. Usman Nurmagomedov made his Bellator debut, defeating Mike Hamill via unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. His left jab, he was hitting Hamill with so many lefts. Hamill was begging for a right with that jab, man. He was pleading for a right. But you know what? I agree with what Usman said in the press conference. I don't think that was the best version of him. He admitted that the pressure of it being his first fight in Bellator, he said he really felt the moment. And it was interesting too, because he had his cousin Khabib in his corner, who is undefeated, by the way, this year as a coach still. Khabib, he's no joke when it comes to coaching, but he said actually it made it kind of like nerve-wracking for him in a sense that like he didn't want to put on a bad performance for him either. So he admitted to having the nerves. He said that we saw him at about 50% and he can't wait to show 100%. And Jack, the one thing that made him different, and yeah, I know he has that Sambo he can rely on, but he doesn't want to rely on that. I think he's the only Nurmagomedov clan member that just wants to throw hands, and he was certainly looking to throw hands that entire fight.
Yeah, it's weird to say that he disappointed in such a dominant, impressive performance, but he did disappoint because I've watched him before and he didn't look comfortable in there. He looked nervous. True. He is so much better than that, and that's the only reason it was disappointing. He dominated and still disappointed. That kid's going to be a star. He's one to watch going forward, but we did not see the best Usman Nurmagomedov in that fight.
No, and certainly he admitted that. And I think that when you do see the best of Usman Nurmagomedov in the Bellator octagon, it's going to be impressive, man. I mean, he's someone to, like you said, this kid's going to be fighting for a title one day. I would almost bet my left nut on it for sure. Okay, so we have, speaking of nuts, we got Jack May and Tyrell Fortune 2. First fight ended in a no contest as Fortune hit a shot to Jack May's nuts. Jack, during the pre-fight media availability, I asked Jack about that, if he took Fortune's comments to heart and if he was using them as motivation, because, you know, Fortune had implied that he should have kept fighting. He's been hitting the nuts multiple times in fights, and it's the way it goes. Turns out Jack May was piss and bled for 2 weeks and in the hospital and shit, but Fortune made easy work of May, which proved that, you know, May was a plus 650 underdog tonight on the betting lines, Jack. And Fortune did exactly what he had to do. And but you know what? The beef was real in that. And after the fight, the shit talk continued, and it looked like they might start throwing punches again.
Yeah, you could tell Fortune had his eyes set on the next fight and that he didn't even really care about this one too much. He just went straight to the wrestling, got it over with quickly, just went there to do business and move on to a higher ranked fighter. And that's what he did. It was easy work for Fortune.
Dude, it was super easy work for Fortune. And it was funny too, because that bad blood spilled over into the post media scrum, because they were asking Fortune about it, and you know, he basically said that Jack May had no business even being in the fight with him, and that Jack should actually have thanked him for the payday because he has no business being in there with a guy as good as him. I mean, when you see the difference, I mean, I don't know. I know they had to run it back because of the circumstance, but certainly I don't think there was a doubt in anyone's mind, especially Vegas, that he was going to get his ass kicked there.
Yeah. And then we had the co-main event, Neiman Gracie versus Jason Jackson. I thought that was complete bullshit by the referees. Neiman Gracie definitely won round 1 and round 2. Big John McCarthy said that was obviously a 29-28 Neiman Gracie at the end of the fight. I completely agreed with him. Neiman Gracie dominated those 2 rounds. And honestly, if there was no stand up there from the referee, I think he even would have finished Jason Jackson in the first round. I think Neiman Gracie got robbed here.
Nah, I don't see it like that the way you guys see it. I don't. I think that Jackson recovered that first round where, yeah, he had him in a vulnerable spot. It was bad, but because the ref standing it up, it was only 1 minute and 30 seconds of control time. When you're fighting a Gracie, you expected that number to be different, but you know what? Jackson's never been submitted before, and he showed why. He had good submission defense. I thought Gracie did do well on the bottom, but at the end of the day, Jackson ended up actually having more takedowns and a better takedown percentage in the fight than Gracie. So,
come on.
Yes, bro. He had
but
3
Gracie
takedowns.
was trying to bring the fight to the ground. So when he trips his leg and Jackson falls on him, that counts as a takedown. That's absolute horseshit. These refs should know what they're doing. No, it's not. And they should know how to score the fights. This is why you never leave it in the judges' hands, because the judges don't know what they're doing. If you want to talk octagon control, Neiman Gracie absolutely dominated those first 2 rounds. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, I think at least the second round. I think that first round when Jackson got those takedowns, I think it switched it, man. I really did. I thought it mid-fight. I mean, hey, listen, my thing is 3 judges. And I know judges are dumb, but usually it's like 2 of the 3. There's usually 1 with common sense. They all scored it the same.
There's only 4 people that think Jason Jackson won that fight, and it's you and the 3 judges. You can go on any social media platform right now. Everyone's screaming robbery. You might want to get some glasses. You and those judges should go to the eye doctor together.
I don't see it, man. I think it was all good, but we'll agree to disagree on that one. Maybe Gracie got robbed. Maybe he didn't. Either way, Jason Jackson, the pride of Kingston, Jamaica, is moving up the ranks. He was the 6th ranked fighter taking on Gracie at number 3.
Great guy, too. Great guy. Honestly, out of all the questions we had answered in the first day, I enjoyed talking to him the most. I asked him who he would fight and rest. He's a big WWE guy. WrestleMania, if he got to fight in the main event, he said Undertaker, which I respected because you always want that fight with Undertaker at WrestleMania, right? So I knew he was a real for sure. But getting into the real here, Jack, the main event of the evening, Patricio Pitbull defended his featherweight title in dominating, like almost borderline scary fashion, like legitimately terrifying fashion over Emmanuel Sanchez, ending it with a first round guillotine. First off, I want to say I think the ref should have been checking Sanchez's hand about 5 or 6 seconds before. Pitbull told him he was out, and then the ref checked his hand. Like he wasn't going to tap. Emmanuel Sanchez is a tough motherfucker. He's as tough of a motherfucker as it comes. So he was never, ever going to tap. But Patricio, I mean, have you ever even seen a guillotine in that deep and that vicious, bro? Like, I mean, that's one of few. I mean,
deep,
that might have been the deepest I've ever seen. But like, I mean, you see it. I mean, it's tied with those. I mean, that was crazy deep. And honestly, Pitbull is the best featherweight in the world. I think if he were to come over to the UFC, he'd beat Volkanovski, he'd beat Holloway, he'd beat Ortega. I mean, Tapology has him ranked as 21 behind Ryan Hall.
That's
How
a joke.
disrespectful.
That's a joke.
He's at least in the top 3, but he's number 1.
I have him at number 2. I'll put Holloway at number 1. I think that the display he's shown with his hands.
After
I'm a big
he lost
Max
to Volkanovski twice, you're going to put Holloway above Volkanovski?
I
want what you're smoking.
I think we've seen a new Max. I'm on the Max train. I'm high on the Max train. I think the last couple fights, we're going to see even more from Holloway. I think there's more to come. But you know what, man? Honestly, now that I'm really sitting here analyzing it, because I'm a huge Holloway guy. That's just how I am. I'm a big Max guy. When I take the Homer glasses off, which I'm trying to do here, I mean, bro, what Pitbull just did tonight. I mean, to have him ranked 21, me and you can argue if he's 1st or 3rd, and I think that's pretty fucking reasonable. Tapology having him at 21 is probably, he called it what it was. It's number 1 bullshit. It's number crazy. 1 bullshit. It's absolute number 1 bullshit to even suggest that. Yeah, man. I mean, he might, it's weird because you don't like to play MMA math. Like, yes, Volkanovski beat Holloway twice, but I think Holloway gives Pitbull a tougher fight than Volkanovski.
Okay, but when you're ranking it, you have to kind of do that math.
Yeah, then you know what? Then it's gonna go Volkanovski 1, Pitbull 2, Max 3, probably, if we're really taking all of that into consideration. But I don't like to do that because when I look at the actual matchup, and matchups make fights, right? I think Max gives Pitbull the tougher challenge, but I mean, he's a killer, dude. Like I think
Pitbull does exactly what he did to Sanchez. I think he stuns Max and submits him.
I think he might, dude. He's so tough, and I know Aj McKee is someone Bellator is very proud of. They brought him up. They found him. Aj McKee was actually coached by his father and Quentin Rampage Jackson. So when Croker saw him fight at an amateur event, and because Rampage was there coaching, they took him in right away. And the run this kid's been on has been unbelievable. But Pitbull's like, there's no stopping him. That $1 million is his, and he's keeping the strap. It's Pitbull all day long. Don't even let me change my mind on that. Don't even let me, because me, if I see a juicy money line, I can convince myself things that are crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking Pitbull, but also McKee is the next big thing in Bellator. He's so young.
He's young.
That he can take a loss to Pitbull, and don't count him out. He will be great, and it will happen sooner than you think.
Yeah, man, when Pitbull's time to ride off into the sunset is there, McKee's going to be right there willing to take the keys to the fucking kingdom. You know what I mean?
100%.
I 110% think that. And hey, don't take shit away from Emmanuel Sanchez either. Tonight was like, that was vicious Pitbull. Like, bro,
Oh yeah.
I have a hard time a lot of the times putting guys as number one outside of the UFC. It's just, in my opinion, it's the top promotion. But man, like, look at Michael Chandler's fighting for the belt over there, and Pitbull like made him like almost. It was probably a more brutal fucking victory over him than tonight, which is saying a lot. I mean, this guy is a stone cold killer.
And
The more
a weight class higher. I
Yes,
like to
bro.
look past promotions and just look at who's the best fighter, and Pitbull's the best featherweight.
Yeah, but he
That
also
fancy UFC shorts, those Venom or Reebok shorts, don't make you a better fighter. It's what you do in the cage.
No, listen, I get it, but everybody wants to be in the UFC. Like, don't get that twisted either. Bellator pays these guys a lot of money, I'm sure. Listen, he might be. Is he the best middleweight? And dude, he might be in the conversation for that too. Like, when you look at Patricio Pitbull,
he's the best lightweight, featherweight. He can't go up.
Or sorry. I meant lightweight. I didn't mean to say middleweight. I was looking at our notes from another fight. But is he the best light? Like, I mean, bro, if Chandler has the belt and then defends it a couple times, like if Chandler wins the belt and then Poirier or Connor wins that fight and he beats them, like, bro, not only did Pitbull beat him, like, bro, he made an example of Michael
but Pitbull's not beating Poirier at lightweight.
Oh, then I hope Chandler don't beat him, because certainly Pitbull's a better wrestler than people give him credit for.
Now we're doing that MMA math again. I like Pitbull's chances against Chandler way better, but I like Chandler's chances against Poirier. It's MMA math. It
doesn't make sense. It never adds up. 2 + 2 = 640 when you're doing MMA math, man. It's crazy. But honestly, we could argue where Pitbull is. And honestly, the more we've had this conversation, because I'm always open to switching it up and changing my mind, and it's like, man, he might be the best featherweight on the planet. After the fight, I put that on my Facebook, and then I started thinking about Max and how much I like him. But no, man, I think Pitbull's the best featherweight on the planet. Like, in this 17-minute podcast we've had here, I've been like up and down on it, right? Because it's tough. You got different promotions. Your brain doesn't help but do that math. But that was some of the best shit I've ever seen in my life. Speaking of good shit, guys, I want to let you know that today's episode was powered by Manscaped. You can go on over to manscaped.com or ca.manscaped.com if you're in Canada, and type in the promo code TARPSOFF, all one word, to receive 20% off and free shipping. The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. Jack is here, and it is the best ball trimmer in the game. It is the tool for your family jewel. You need a Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 in your life. Save your face shaver for your face. Don't mix it with your ball shaver. That's just nasty. Manscaped.com, ca.manscaped.com if you're in Canada. Promo code TARPS off for 20% off and free shipping. The Grand Prix finale is set, $1 million, and the strapper on the line. Patricio Pitbull will take on Aj McKee, and it sounds like, Jack, it's going to go down in June or July. I'm thinking July. I think we're going to have the Bellator Grand Prix finale, and then we got the Conor Poirier Panty Night 3 championship coming up. So it's going to be a huge summer of MMA. Make sure you guys hit subscribe and let us know in the comments how you felt about the Neiman Gracie decision. I mean, listen, everybody gets all excited in that, but that's how I had it, and that's how the judges had it. So me and the judges versus the world. Take care.